All right. Well, this week we have a very exciting interview. Southpaws exclusive, some could say. Maurice is sitting down with an anonymous NCAA insider, someone inside of the belly of the beast, to protect their ability to stay private. We are keeping everything under wraps. Cannot tell you who it is, but I do hope you enjoy this segment. So I'm going to throw it to Maurice.
So you work in marketing and game ops, game operations for a D1 school. It's a top 3 market. What are things like right now? Because the athletic world in general is a shitstorm. The college athletic world is a shitstorm. You have guys like Trevor Lawrence saying that athletes are safer under the current conditions or being playing sports right now than they would be otherwise. Our show would say that that's complete and utter bullshit. So, what's the deal with that? And what's it like? What are the conditions like right now?
Yeah, let me first agree with you that, at my level, things are a shit show. I feel like things change day by day, week to week. Nothing is consistent, but that's the world as a whole right now. We're kind of still learning new things about the virus and how to handle it. Mistakes are made. We sent our women's basketball team to another university after testing them in the morning, and that afternoon came back that 2 of the girls were positive, and unfortunately they had to go back, to our university, and that was almost a 4 to 6 hour bus ride. So I definitely understand where you guys are coming from in terms of thinking like, how can this be safer when you're kind of forcing them in these situations? And I was of that mindset when that Trevor Lawrence quote first came out. But now, actually working and administering the test for these student athletes and being a part of the logistics and having the conversations with and let me just say this is a very personal experience, and just with my student athletes, a lot of them themselves think the same way. And yes, they're being put in what we deem, kind of an exploitive position, but
they think the same way, as in like they agree with Trevor Lawrence, or they agree with
correct. Trevor Lawrence, because of the access to resources that they otherwise wouldn't have back home. And I think there can be a lot to be said, and are we doing it for the right reasons? No, but we're also giving them all these different resources that unfortunately our country has mishandled and not given out to the constituents. And it's truly sad that we have to rely on athletic departments just to get these guys tested.
It's sad, and it is. Like you said, it's a really wild concept to think that the intentional danger that we're placing these athletes into perhaps may be better than they are in the outside world. And it's not to say that their predicament is great or amazing, but like you said, that's a straight indictment on the country that we live in, and the awful ways that we've been handling the pandemic. You've never had any sort of medical or health training at all prior to. So what has your job been like over the last year, and how has it maybe changed because of COVID?
Yeah, in the initial stages, my job got a lot easier. You can't do game operations when there's no games. But as time dragged on, it got a little bit weirder as, in the summer months, we were actually trained to be contact tracers. And that was just to help anyone in our department, any student athlete that maybe have tested positive, and work with them to see who might be close contact. Nothing ever came of that. But then as we tried to return to play, for basketball and football, we were trained then to be saliva testers. So I had added that to my repertoire, and trust me, that's going to be on every resume moving forward. Game operations, when you don't have fans in the stands, is a little bit easier. But now, I'm dealing with the risk of being a saliva tester.
Right. So you're actually testing players on a day-to-day basis in order to keep operations running. What is it like? How often do these players have to get tested? Is it once a week? Is it twice a week? What is it?
So the NCAA says that they need 3 tests a week to participate in athletic competition. We actually do 7 days a week for our women's and men's basketball team because you do get inconclusives, you do get false positives. And the thing about the ruling is that the 3 tests need to be separated by a day. So you do all these extra tests to make sure it kind of fits that criteria. And I'm sure that's what we'll be doing moving forward as well.
Right. Well, speaking of moving forward, a lot of individual sports seasons have been canceled or postponed. So over the next 6 months or so, what does the outlook appear to be in terms of what sports are going to be playing? Are they going to be playing all at once? So that some are going to be taking breaks? And then what's that overlap going to look like in terms of testing, in terms of personnel? What is all that going to look like over the next few months?
Well, to answer the question right off the bat, I'd say dreadful. I'm not looking forward to the storm that's coming because everyone is going to try to play all games in the spring semester. So what I mean by that is, you have the sports broken up by season. So because the fall season didn't work out, they're now trying to push that and the winter sports that haven't competed into the spring season. Now, if you know your collegiate sports, you know that there's a crossover season when you go from fall to winter and then winter to spring. So I am fully ready for all sports, which in our case is 18 different sports playing at the same time.
Yeah. I mean, like, what do you think they will look like? Are you guys going to hire more staff? Are you going to have more personnel on hand? Or are you just going to keep the same people and overwork them 40 or 60, 70 hours a week?
I always joke that there's a reason why I work in sports. You get salary and not an hourly pay, and it's for situations like this. I didn't think I would be a test administrator before this year, and that happened. So what I think the move will be is they're just going to change people's roles for the time being, and we're just going to try to get through the next few months.
Hopefully unscathed. That really sucks, but that's literally, as a worker in this situation, as an athlete in this situation, it's almost like what other choice do you have than to just put your head down and trudge forward? And you're basically on the front lines, which is it's not admirable. It just sucks. But I don't know, man. I wish you the best over there. Southpaws is always rooting for you. And I thank you for your time and thank you for coming on.
Thank you.